Problem number 5. Scott's Boy Scout troop ordered too many boxes of microwave popcorn, so they decided to sell them at a discount price. They sold all 72 boxes of extra popcorn, but the sales sheets were dropped in a puddle and most of the numbers were smudged. And so all Scott knew was that they sold all 72 and that they were all sold for the same amount of profit, and that the total profit from the sale of the extra boxes was okay. So the first number and the last number must have been smudged. So all he knew was that they sold for A67.9B dollars. So how much money did Scott's troop make from the sale of the extra boxes? Well, this looks like a hard problem, but it's really not too bad. Let's take a look at this. The key to it is recognizing that in order to get this the total amount of profit, you would have had to have taken 72 times the profit for each box, right? So you know that this A67.9B is a multiple of 72, okay? And they even say that the profit was a whole number of cents, okay? And we could actually write this total profit in cents, and that would be equal to A679B cents, right? Same thing, right? We can write it in cents instead of dollars. So, since we know we got that number by multiplying by 72, we know this has to be divisible by 72. And you might be saying, well, that doesn't help me a whole lot, but let's look at 72. 72 has some factors, right? And you probably know your multiplication tables, and you could probably recognize that that is equal to 8 times 9, right? So, that's the key. This number, in order to be divisible by 72, has to be divisible by both 8 and 9. Okay, and we have some divisibility rules for 8 and for 9. Okay, so like for 9, we know that the sum of these digits has to add up to a multiple of 9, right? And for 8, we know that the last 3 digits have to be divisible by 8. So let's look at the divisibility by 8 first and figure out what it will take to make this divisible by 8. So let's divide 8 into 79B. Alright, well, we can take this times 9, we get 72. We have 7 left over, and we bring down the B. We don't know what it is, but let's just bring it down. I'm going to scroll down a little bit more. Alright, so well, what multiple of 8 gives us 70 something? Well, I mean, it's right here, right? 72. So if we multiply it by 9, we get 72, not 27. 72, okay? So in order for this to be evenly divisible by 8, B would have to be 2. Okay? Does that make sense? Because that's the only multiple of 8 that starts with 7, right? Because the next multiple of 8 would be 80, right? So that is the only multiple of 8 that starts with a 7, okay? So that's, hey, look at that. We got B equals 2. So now let's look at A plus 6 plus 7 plus 9 plus B, which is 2. We know that that has to be a multiple of 9. I'm just going to write it this way. Multiple of 9, okay? So let's add these up. We have, this is 13 and this is 11. Alright, so we have A plus 24, right? A plus 24 has to be a multiple of 9. Okay, so let's look at we know A is a digit, right? So it has to be positive. So what's the the multiple of 9 that starts with a 2 is 27. So if A were equal to 3, then this would be equal to 27, and then this number would be divisible by 9, right? So are there any other options? I mean, if the next multiple of 9 would be, what, 36? But the A needs to be a digit, so if it were 36, that would require 12, and 12 is not a digit. Okay, so really this is the only one that works. So we know A is equal to 3, and B is equal to 2, so the profit that they're asking for, the total profit that they made, is equal to, A is 3, and then we have 67.9, and B was 2, right? So $367.92 is how much they made. Alright, so see, it wasn't so bad. Once we recognize that in order for this to be a multiple of 72, it has to be divisible by 8 and 9. So we just had to find a number that, we had to find numbers A and B so that this A679B was a multiple of 8 and 9. Alright, so there you go.